This is episode 27 and is titled The Home Inspection, the Attorney Review, and the Closing. Buying your first home is exciting. It's also a little like assembling furniture without instructions. You think you know what you're doing until you realize, hey, I have some extra screws and I think something's upside down. And now you're questioning every decision you made. Now let's relate this to home buying. That's where these 3 steps come into play: the home inspection, the attorney review, and the closing process. Today, I'm going to walk you through all 3 steps, explain what they actually do, what to watch out for, and how to avoid some common and costly mistakes. Welcome to the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast, where we share real-life stories and break down the lessons, mistakes, and wins that can save you time, money, and stress on buying your first home, navigating your property claim, selling your home by owner, and home maintenance and repair tips. I am your host, Fred Turner, and each week I'll guide you through these 4 topics. Let's start with the home inspector. This is the person who will walk you through the house and tell you everything that's wrong with it. And let me be clear, there will always be something wrong with every house. Even brand new homes have issues. I've seen it many times. Here's what the home inspector actually does. The inspector is there to evaluate the condition of the home, identify safety concerns, and point out major and minor issues. They are not there to tell you whether to buy the home, predict the future, or scare you out of the deal. And sometimes it feels that way. Here's a practical example. I once saw a first-time home buyer get a 40-page inspection report. They thought the house was falling apart. Then they sat down with their realtor, realized many of the issues were fairly minor. Loose outlet covers, small cracks in drywall, some damaged screens, the concrete stoop had a crack, and the GFCI outlet was not installed in one of the bathrooms. Normal stuff, but buried in there was one important item. The roof was near the end of its life, so they would probably have to get a new roof sometime soon. That's the kind of thing you really need to pay attention to. Here's a tip. Focus on the main issues like the roof, foundation, electrical, plumbing, and the HVAC units. Those are the big ticket items. Not the loose doorknob or the damaged screens. Those are minor. If you're expecting a perfect inspection, you may be waiting a long time. There's no such thing as a perfect house, only houses with different levels of problems. Here's part 2, the attorney review. This is one of the most underrated parts of the home buying process. Your attorney is there to protect you, not just nod and smile while everything moves forward. This is what the attorney does. They review and explain contracts, they make sure terms are fair and equitable, they handle all the legal documents, and they ensure that the title is clean. In simple terms, they make sure you're not buying a legal headache with future issues. Here's a good example. I heard of a buyer who skipped using his lawyer to save some money. Later they found out there was an issue with the property line, and a neighbor had a claim on part of the land. Now that small savings turned into a big, expensive problem later, and lots of headaches. Remember this, always have a real estate attorney review your deal, especially if you're a first-time homebuyer. The lawyer may be the only person in the process who's not really emotionally attached to the house, and that's a good thing. They are thinking clearly when everyone else is picturing where the couch is going to go and what changes and modifications they're going to make to the house. Part number 3, the closing. Now let's talk about the closing. This is basically the finish line. This is where everything becomes real and also where people sometimes get overwhelmed. What happens at the closing? At the closing, you read and sign a lot of documents, and I mean a lot. You finalize your loan, you sign a lot of documents, you pay your closing costs, you sign a lot of documents, and you get the keys. It's simple in theory, but a bit more intense in reality. You may be signing documents for anywhere from 30 to 60 minutes, sometimes longer, and you may feel like you're signing your life away, or at least the next 30 years. But here's a tip. Before closing, make sure you do the following. Review your numbers, ask lots of questions, and fully understand your loan terms. Don't wait till you're sitting down at the closing table to figure these things out. Closing costs. Here's another area where buyers get surprised. Closing costs may include loan fees, title fees, taxes, insurance, and these can add up quickly. Make sure you're prepared. If you want more details and specifics on the closing cost, check out my last episode, number 26, the mortgage and closing fees when buying a home. This is how the 3 steps of buying your home all work together. Think of it like this. The home inspector tells you what you are buying, the attorney protects how you're buying it, and the closing finalizes the purchase so you can buy it. If one of these goes wrong, it can create problems. If all 3 go right, you're a happy homeowner. And you know what we say here at the Happy Homeowners Hub? We want you to become happy homeowners with no regrets. Here are some common mistakes to avoid. Let me give you a few quick mistakes that I have seen far too often. Ignoring major inspection issues, skipping the legal review, not fully understanding the closing cost, and rushing through the process. Buying a home is one of the biggest financial decisions you will ever make. Take your time, ask questions, and know and feel comfortable with what you are signing. Let's quickly recap. The home inspection helps you understand the condition of the home. The attorney helps protect you legally. The closing is where everything becomes official and final. Each one plays a critical role. If you want to better understand the entire home buying process and avoid costly mistakes, check out my books, The Happy Homeowners Handbook for First-Time Homebuyers. And I have another book that's also good for home buyers, The Happy Homeowners Home Maintenance Journal. You can find them on Amazon.com, or for more details, go to my website, happyhomeownershub.com, or check out the show notes for details. If you'd like some great, helpful information, tips, and encouragement for first-time home buyers, home maintenance and repair tips, check out the Happy Homeowners Hub newsletter by going to happyhomeownershub.com and head over to the Contact Us page and type the word newsletter in the message box, and we'll add you to the list. Here's the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast disclaimer. The information provided in this podcast does not and is not meant to be considered as professional or legal advice and should not be used without consulting a legal professional or a licensed real estate agent. These are my insights and tips based on my many years in the home buying and home selling industry. Thank you for listening to the Happy Homeowners Hub Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, share it with someone else who's thinking about buying their first home. And remember, the more you know, the more confident you will feel, and that's how you become a happy homeowner with no regrets. My goal is to make your homeownership journey smoother, smarter, and way less stressful. I've got some great stories, tips, and occasional guest experts coming up in future episodes, so stay tuned. And remember, your home is your biggest investment. Be smart from the start. Thanks for listening. This is your host, Fred Turner, and I'll see you at the next episode. Have a blessed day. Goodbye.